Saw, dude. Before we get into today's video, I want to let you guys know that I launched my own brand. If you missed the announcement video, you can check it out here. It's a pretty good video. It explains everything in detail, but here's what's going on in a nutshell. My brand is called French Roast, and my first launch is some good old-fashioned merch, because that's what the people want. You gotta give the people what they want. We got several sick designs, dude, okay? We got Born to be Mild, okay? Because not everybody is born to be wild. We got Mild Child, you know? Because not everybody's a wild child. We got this one here, which is super cute. It says, let the okay times roll. And last but not least, we have supporting character energy, because not all of us have main character energy. Obviously. So head to FrenchRoast.co if you want to check it out. By the way, do not put .com. It's not .com, it's .co. Don't put that M on the end, or it'll take you somewhere weird. That's it, I hope you guys love it. Enjoy the video, bye! Hey kids, I have a question for you.
If someone were to ask you, what makes you uncomfy? Is it folks on TikTok live doing weird stuff for money? Is it your neighbor a few houses down, or a creep you met on Hinge? What would you say makes you cringe?
But seriously, I want to know. For me, there are several things that make me cringe. JoJo Siwa comes to mind. ASMR boyfriend POV videos are on the list as well. But there are very, very few things that make me cringe as hard as a modern day boy band.
We are NLH!
Note that I said modern day, okay? Because I honestly didn't really think that NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and O-Town and LFO, I didn't really think they were cringe, okay? Possibly because I was seeing them like through child's eyes. Children's eyes, a child's eyes. But also, I don't think that back in the day when us millennials were kids, I don't think that the boy bands were as cringy as, you know, One Direction. It also might be because we didn't have social media, and so, like, you know, the band members of NSYNC weren't expected to make weird TikToks and stuff to stay relevant.
Cardiana, I was home with my kid, mommy.
That's probably exactly what it is. And I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry if you really like One Direction. It's just, they're cringe, okay? But cringe doesn't mean that they're not talented. I'm cringe, you're cringe, we're all cringe. We're all gross, okay?
Can you stop saying that we're gross? We're on vacation.
So as hard as I tend to cringe at modern boy bands, you can imagine the look on my face when I saw this.
What's up, California? My name is Alex.
They straight up did the whole, oh hey, didn't see you there. But they were serious.
What's up, I'm Aiden. I'm Oliver. I'm Brian. And I'm Dylan. And together we are NLH. We are so excited to announce we're going to be headlining at Teen Beat Media's prom after party Saturday, March 23rd in Los Angeles.
Make sure you go check the link in our bio and on our story to go get your tickets.
Also in that link, we'll be giving special offers on tickets, so be sure to keep a lookout.
And we're so excited to be performing with SOS again, and we'll see y'all there.
This modern boy band is called No Lonely Hearts, and they are cringe, but more importantly, they're quite mysterious.
NLH!
Holy heck, I thought this was satire. Who is your target audience? I honestly thought it was satire too. It is that level of cringe. These dudes bite their lip when they wipe. What? What does that even mean?
Trust me on this one. You don't want to know.
I thought this was the beginning of a skit. Bring back bullying. Okay, you see what I mean? Like, the comments are mean, but also hilarious. But everybody agrees, okay? This video has 4 million views, and I didn't really see many positive comments. This is quite cringe. But guess what? Because of the cringiness, I clicked on them. I was very intrigued. As a commentary YouTuber slash comedian, I immediately saw content. That's how I see everything these days. It's kind of sad. But obviously I saw content because here we are with this video. And I find cringe to be awesome, and oftentimes it's worth talking about. So I started looking through their content, wondering if there would be anything worth talking about. I also like doing videos like this because I get funny content, but also the person I'm talking about gets a little exposure. You know what I mean? It's a win-win, hopefully. So I start watching them, and I just couldn't shake this feeling that something was off. Something seemed not quite right about these guys. Not them themselves. They're great. But the whole situation. So I start watching them, and I did not expect to uncover what I uncovered. And no, I'm not just talking about how terrible they are at being interviewed.
It's just a joke. Basically, how much? Well, basically,
Oh, okay, yeah. Should I look at the camera? Should I look no, just at you. I'm so sorry. I went rogue.
It's okay.
And there's a little bit of a plot twist, but don't spoil the plot twist in the comments, okay? If you have the urge to spoil it, just leave a wrong answer. Wrong answers only. Say the plot twist is something funny, like they're aliens or something. Best wrong answer gets a free French roast shirt. How about that?
How about that?
So before we dive in, I'm going to take a quick listen to No Lonely Hearts' entire album with my favorite new earbuds, and we'll be right back. Friends, I made a grave mistake recently. I was unfaithful in my relationship to my earbuds. I lost one of my Raycon earbuds because I fell asleep with it and then the bed ate it. You know how beds eat things. And I had no choice but to go back to the other brand that I used before I discovered Raycon, and I was so appalled. I can still see it in my mind's eye when I was taking a walk and I heard the sound coming through my old earbuds. I had to have been walking like this. I had just gotten so spoiled by my Raycons that I took them for granted. And even though I loved my Raycons before, I have a newfound respect for them. But also, if you were possibly on the fence before when I raved about them, it's time to get off that fence, because they just came out with an upgraded model, which now features active noise cancellation. So the new Raycons have everything you already loved about the original Raycon everyday earbuds, but you get the noise cancellation, the ergonomic design, multi-point connectivity, meaning you can now pair the earbuds to 2 devices at once. And also they are now available in a variety of new colors to complement anyone and everyone's skin tone. I chose black just to switch it up from, you know, my previous ones, which were white. Look how slick these look. They're just so cool. And look how stinking cool the new cases are. I chose concrete for mine. You know, I'm a basic beige Becky, but they also have colors for the, you know, more flamboyant people watching. Seriously, if you have ever considered checking out Raycon, there's no better time than right now. I love the sound. I love the noise cancellation. I love how comfortable they are. They never fall out of your ear. I especially love the 32-hour battery life because I just forget to charge stuff. But if you are like me and you do forget to charge, you only have to charge your Raycons for 10 minutes and then you get 90 minutes back out of them. So if you are interested in getting your hands on some of these bad boys or any of the products that Raycon makes, they're all good. You can head to buyraycon.com/Jaime and you will get 15% off your purchase. And these are already like a fraction of the price that, you know, the big boys charge. So that's a steal and it makes a great gift also. Again, friends, that is buyraycon.com/Jaime. Thank you so much, Raycon, for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Please forgive me for cheating on you. And now back to the show. Hey guys, we're back. So let's meet the members of No Lonely Hearts. Not to be confused with the Lonely Hearts Club, nor just the Lonely Hearts, nor the movie entitled None But the Lonely Heart. Not the most unique name, but they actually didn't come up with the name, so I'm allowed to say that.
We actually didn't come up with the name. It was already created.
So we have 5 members. We have Alex.
My name is Alex.
He's the cool one. We have Aiden, the man of few words. We have Oliver, the guy who kind of reminds me of like a cross between James Charles and the late great Cameron Boyce, who was a doll, and like that blonde kid who played Adam Sandler's caddy in Happy Gilmore.
Mr. Gilmore, I'm your caddy.
He's like an amalgam. And then there's Brian, who seems to be like the most professional / the more experienced member of the group. And lastly, we have Dylan, who I think is the only one who like already had a social media presence before the group was formed. And before you say anything, no, I am not proud that I know all of their names and all of their personalities now, but there was a lot of research involved in this video and it just kind of happened. So they have a new song dropping, dude, and it's called... I don't know what it's called, but oh my gosh, they have literally made 800 videos featuring this song.
Talk to me, baby, come a little closer. 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 Talk to me, baby, come a little closer.
All right, enough, you broken record, okay? Gosh, this song is haunting me. Worse than Karma by Jojo Siwa did. Not to say that it's not a bad song, okay? It's actually kind of, it slaps. But just hearing it so many times in my research, it lives rent-free in my brain now.
Talk to me, baby, come a little closer.
I love the text overlay on this last one. POV, you miscalculated your outfit for the weather.
So I can show you how you're supposed to feel.
Get it? Because he's so sweaty. I don't suppose you could just, I don't know, remove your jacket? Now look, I make jokes, okay? I poke fun at the guys for being cringe, but they're very talented young men. Nobody could deny that. You also have to remember who their audience is, which I get. And honestly, I think the hate comments they get are a little bit excessive. These kids aren't hurting anyone, right? Besides maybe these innocent commuters trying to get to work. But it looks like they made it. Ooh, what's this? When all the other boy bands are on hiatus from dropping music.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Fine, I'll do it myself. I'll perform for the dozens.
Come on, now that was funny. That was funny, but for real, I'm totally joking. Anybody who shows up for an artist, whether it's 5 people or 500 people or 5,000, it probably took a lot of work to get to that point. You know, to even get to do a live show. So that is an accomplishment. And we all must remember that everybody started somewhere. Britney Spears herself used to perform at malls for dozens. Why is dozens so funny?
All you dozens of viewers out there.
Not to mention, these kids actually can sing and they harmonize quite beautifully, in my opinion. That was almost as good as Fergie. Also, the music is not bad. It does sound a lot like, you know, boy band music from 1999 or 2005. I liked this song. I thought was pretty good. It's called Better Than Me. It's a bop. The song's good. The only thing I didn't like is that they had like a 36-year-old actress play a high school student, but that's neither here nor there. I also like their song called Call Me Back. It's got good lyrics.
I know all the right words to say, but I'm talking to a ceiling fan.
I love these guys, okay? I do. Even with the insane amounts of cringe, and even though they make very bad little skits.
Ooh, let's see.
Hello?
Hello. We're all here. Sorry to bother you. We just had a quick question.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
Hey, yeah, we were just wondering if you noticed on the recent post, actually, the fans are going crazy. They're dying to see the new music video for Better Than Me. Is the music video chopped? Is it going to drop? Are we moving on to the next song? What's going on with that?
I'm thinking we release it March 1st, this Friday. So,
All right, thank you.
What do y'all think about that? What should we...
You heard it here first. Better Than Me comes out this Friday, the music video, so be sure to watch.
Wow. It's almost as though that voice wasn't actually coming through the phone at all.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
Would it have been that hard to have somebody just like walk a few yards away and actually call? So friends, in addition to this exquisite short form content that they put on Instagram, No Lonely Hearts also vlogs on YouTube, which, hey, respect. You know what I mean? Respect and no regrets. Their vlogs are... They are.
Breaking news! That's not funny, bro. That was awesome. Right, Ollie?
So watching their YouTube content is when I really started to wonder, what exactly is going on here? Not because of how chaotic their vlogs were, instead because of this man that I kept seeing make an appearance. This was the first shot I saw of him, which is literally just like the back of his head. And I had a thought that I really shouldn't have had. I should not have been this judgmental, but I am. And my first thought was, oh no, is this another Lou Pearlman situation? I really don't know why I thought that exactly. It's just the way he was talking, he sounded like maybe he was their manager, just judging by the language. And I thought of Lou. Now, if you don't know who Lou Pearlman is, we have to give a quick little lesson because this is very important in this whole No Lonely Hearts thing. So Lou Pearlman was a very rich businessman who owned a company called Transcontinental Airlines. And that company ended up being a scam. He like claimed he owned planes, but didn't actually own planes. I don't remember I don't remember all the details, but it's not entirely relevant. But Lou, under his business of Transcontinental Airlines, would lease out, he was like, I guess the middleman, and he would lease out these private jets to rich and famous people, including famous musicians. And one of the famous groups that he ended up meeting was a group called New Kids on the Block. Maybe you've heard of them.
And I just questioned, how could these kids afford an airplane? And I was told these kids did $200 million in record sales and $800 million in touring and merchandising. I was like, I'm in the wrong business.
According to Wikipedia, it says he became fascinated with the success of New Kids on the Block, who had made hundreds of millions of dollars in record tour and merchandise sales. So then he started Transcontinental Records with the intent of mimicking their boy band business model. So this record label, Transcontinental Records, first band was the Backstreet Boys. It consisted of 5 unknown performers selected by Mr. Pearlman in a $3 million talent search. It then goes on to say, management duties were assigned to a former New Kids on the Block manager, Johnny Wright, and his wife, Donna. Pearlman and the Wrights were then introduced to NSYNC, and then, as many of you know, Lou would then go on to completely screw over the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, took a whole bunch of money from them. In fact, there's a documentary about him. It's called The Boy Band Con that Lance Bass produced. I highly recommend you check it out. I also made a video where I talked about Lou Pearlman quite extensively. I reviewed a movie that he produced called Long Shot. Remember how bad that movie was? I will link it in the description, but what you need to know is that Lou Pearlman was a massive scammer, cost people millions and millions of dollars. He was a con artist, and he was an alleged creep. Like, he would get naked all the time and be gross to the boy band members.
He would give you a massage, like, so he was very touchy-feely. He was just a very touchy guy. It always felt a little, okay, I think I know what you're doing.
Can we all just agree? This is just a side note. Can we all just agree? No more massaging. No more massaging kids. I had quite enough of that watching Quiet on Set about Dan Schneider. Gosh! Anyway, you get it. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I got some Lou Pearlman-esque vibes when I was watching the No Lonely Hearts YouTube channel. Now, this is very important. I want to be very clear. I am not at all suggesting that this gentleman in these videos is anything like Lou Pearlman. I literally know nothing about him. Well, actually, I know a few things now, but I don't think I'm just telling you where my mind was at because Lou traumatized all of us. He put those thoughts in my head. If I see a boy band living together under the management of a gentleman who looks to be a bit older than them, I just think of Lou. Why'd you do it, Lou? And that's the other thing that contributed to the vibe I got, is that I found it unique that the No Lonely Hearts guys all live together, because that is exactly what Lou Pearlman did with NSYNC.
Lou said, I want to get a house for you guys because I want you guys to be together a lot, and I want you guys to, you know, really get to know each other.
There's a chance that that's common for bands, okay? I honestly don't know. I don't feel like it is, but maybe it is, at least for boy bands, just not for man bands. What is a man band? Is that just a band? However, I wasn't entirely sure that they lived together. It seemed like they were always in the same house all the time, but I wasn't sure until they confirmed it in this interview I watched. They did an interview with this woman who hosts a show called Riff on This, and it's one of the more uncomfortable interviews that I've ever watched. The poor guys I don't think they have much media training, but that's not really here nor there. The point is, some of the things they said in this interview raised my eyebrows as much as they possibly can raise, and ended up being the catalyst that led me down the current rabbit hole that I'm in. Look at me. I'm in a rabbit hole.
In the studio today, I am so excited because, you know, Orlando is known for boy bands. We've had Backstreet, we've had NSYNC, and we've had O-Town.
Oh, so like all the bands formed by Lou Pearlman? Now, again, she's just listing bands, okay? It's neither here nor there. It could just be a coincidence.
Tell us where you're from and how you guys, you know, got to meet and become a group that all live here together.
Absolutely.
You start.
Little hesitation to answer that question, but nothing weird just yet.
So it was actually a nationwide search and audition process, which is really cool.
Oh, weird. That's exactly how we just read that Lou Pearlman formed the Backstreet Boys, but again, it could just be a coincidence. After all, that is also how like One Direction was formed, right? They did like the X Factor, you know, that's technically a talent search. It probably happens a lot. So let's see how Dylan answers the question.
Their stories are kind of different, but
yeah,
y'all joined.
It's just a joke. Basically, how much? Well, basically,
Today, Junior?
Let's say a family member of mine told me about this and got me connected with these guys, and yeah, so they flew me out here. I got to.
Okay, so a mysterious family member of Dylan's connected him with the other members of the group, but he is extremely hesitant not only to say the family member's name, but also to say exactly how he's related to the person. Is it his father? Is it his brother? Is it his great uncle? His grunkle? So my eyebrows are getting higher and higher throughout this interview. Lou is really He's creeping in there for some reason. It seems strange, right? It seems so strange that this kid would be so unprepared for that question that he would have to air juggle.
Just the juggling part.
But never mind that. Let's see how Oliver answers the question.
To Oliver.
So, funny enough, the family member who introduced Dylan to the group decided to, I don't know, I should be able to say
Extra details.
Extra details, you're right.
No longer
okay.
here.
Can't say that.
If it's such a big secret as to who this person is, who both told Dylan about the group and invited Oliver to the audition, why even talk about it? Why not just make something up and be like, I heard about it on Twitter? So then Alex chimes in.
All right, awesome.
Our vocal coach actually recommended him.
Yeah.
Because apparently he worked with him before, so.
Okay, so hold on. Is their vocal coach the same family member that Dylan was referring to? Is this potentially their vocal coach? This guy from one of their vlogs? Are there any horse socks? Why am I investigating this again? Oliver then goes on to explain that his dad actually used to manage 2 other boy bands back in the day.
My dad used to do management for 2 other boy bands, 535 and Julian and the Heartthrob Heroes.
So I looked up these other bands, and the boy band that he referred to as 535 is actually called Highway 35. There was very little info about them. I found like 3 articles. Cute kids. They remind me of like a little bitty Hanson. Their sound was, well, it was. Their sound was.
Stop it.
But this one article from a website called Crone had this to say. In 2 years, the boys have gone from playing spaghetti dinners at a local elementary school to being represented by Wright Career Management, the company run by NSYNC manager Johnny Wright and Los Angeles agent Kenneth Creer. Johnny Wright, as in the guy who used to work for Lou Pearlman.
We signed with Jive, and then Lou and Donna and Johnny were our management team.
You know, Lou was generous.
Okay. We're getting more interesting here. My Lou Pearlman radar was not entirely off.
That's pretty much it for my dad. He also does like audio production for a bunch of bands and all of that stuff.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're all following, okay? So Dylan has, let's just say, a family member who introduced him to the group. That family member also knows Oliver, and then Oliver says that his dad once managed a boy band under Johnny Wright's company, who also worked for Lou Pearlman. Got it. I think. Honestly, I'm a little bit confused, and I blame Oliver. Oh man, that was weird. Maybe you guys could like make up for this terrible interview by doing some beautiful harmonies at the end.
How I just lose my mind when that's too far.
Well, hey, you win a few, you lose a lot. We've already established that they're really good singer, so I'm allowed to make fun of that. So of course, after this interview, I was very determined to figure out who this mysterious family member of Dylan's was. Spoiler alert, I never did, but I did find out some other sketchy shenanigans. So the first place I thought to look was Facebook, because you can really find a lot about a person just from looking at their like personal Facebook page, as long as it's public. So I went over to the No Lonely Hearts Facebook page, and I'm scrolling through their content, I'm reading the comments, and I found this video called After a Show with Johnny Wright. So they are pretty open about the fact that they work with Johnny Wright. That's not a secret. But what caught my eye was this comment here that says, "That's my brother, Robert Fischetti." And I was like, hold on a minute. Robert Fischetti? As in the guy I remember reading about in a Vanity Fair article about Lou Pearlman. This article is called Mad About the Boys. It's a good read about Lou. But right here it mentions Robert Fischetti. It says, several top Pearlman aides, including both his general counsel and his right-hand man, Robert Fischetti, began their careers as Pearlman's driver. Okay. So we have No Lonely Hearts, a boy band from Orlando where Lou Pearlman founded all of these other boy bands, managed by Johnny Wright, who worked for Lou Pearlman, and they're hanging out with Robert Fischetti, whom, according to this article, was Lou Pearlman's right-hand man. Also, side note, no, my memory is not that good. I didn't just remember Robert Fischetti's name from an insanely long Vanity Fair article. I remembered his name because I follow Brad Fischetti, who is the last surviving member of the boy band LFO, who was also formed by Lou Pearlman. I don't know if they're brothers or what. They look alike. It's just, the point is, it's all connected, and it all goes back to Lou. So I scroll a bit further down on the No Lonely Hearts Facebook page, and I see a comment from this guy, Jim Rise, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. Jim Rise from the Boy Band Con documentary that I just rewatched last night, who used to work at Transcontinental Records for Lou Pearlman? This is a bit odd, right? Now look, on one hand, I didn't really uncover anything top secret because the guys from NLH do say quite often like, oh, we are backed by the same people who created NSYNC. I just don't think people realize, and I don't think that they really want to disclose, that the same people who created NSYNC translates to Lou Pearlman, con artist, close associates who seem to, for all intents and purposes, seem to be following his exact formula for creating a boy band. You know, from the nationwide search to bringing them all together to live in the same house, down to the music sounding exactly identical to boy band music that would have popped off in 2005. It's literally like everything is identical except for Lou. So one of the interviews that I was watching with the NLH guys, they mention their real names. And Oliver says that his real name is Oliver Fox Anglin.
My name's Oliver Fox Anglin. I'm from Orlando, Florida, but I go by Oliver Fox.
So imagine my surprise when I'm watching NLH's behind the scenes music video shoot and the director for the music video's name pops on the screen as Craig Anglin. Oliver Fox Anglin, Craig Anglin. A quick Facebook search and some adorable family photos later, Craig Anglin is Oliver's father.
That's pretty much it for my dad. He also does like audio production for a bunch of bands and all of that stuff.
Audio production for a bunch of bands and all of that stuff. Production for a bunch of bands and all that stuff.
Now again, this information is not that big of a deal, apart from just how odd these kids acted during their interview with Riff on this, and how they mentioned Oliver's dad and his background, but didn't mention that he is like directly involved with their band, and it's probably his connections in the music industry and his connections to Johnny Wright that secured his son's spot in the group to begin with. It's all just a little bit weird and nepotism-y and Lou Pearlman-y. That's all I'm saying. It's a big kerfluffle. And it's just a little weird to like the unassuming scroller who stumbles upon them on, you know, TikTok or Instagram or something. Not that it matters or takes away from their music, but again, it just feels kind of like an industry plant, you know? Also something I noticed last night when rewatching the Boy Band Con documentary, when they were discussing how Lou formed the Backstreet Boys, they said Lou Pearlman's limo driver knew somebody who knew somebody who knew Kevin. And that's how Kevin got brought into the Backstreet Boys.
Lou's limo driver knew somebody who knew Kevin.
And now my thought is, was the limo driver Robert Fischetti? Because I feel like it was. They also mention a guy named Mike Cronin who worked for Lou. He worked at Transcontinental. And I'm like, Cronin? As in Rich Cronin from LFO. So it's all connected, and it's very clear that Lou was just going to his employees being like, hey, you know anybody who has a shred of musical talent to become a money-making machine for me? It's a little bit odd, right? I'm sorry to keep beating a dead horse, but I really want to stress how much this should not take away from these guys and their talent. I am a very big fan now. It just has my eyebrows like all the way up at this point, because while the obvious hope is that all these people who worked with or for Lou Pearlman have learned what not to do from him, it just doesn't appear that that's the case. Like I said before, it appears that they are following the same formula to a T, and not even the music has changed. And you know, I know that the music industry is not always ideal, but in an ideal world, I would like to see a boy band form just naturally. You know, a couple guys from college get together, they all can sing, they all love each other already, they have history, and they're like, hey, let's form a group, as opposed to being completely contrived by people who learned from a con artist who just wanted to turn his boy bands into money-making machines. That's what this is. This is a machine that was created to make the managers money. It's even a little bit odd to me that NLH's record label is called KDS Platinum Records, because according to their own website, NLH, No Lonely Hearts, is their only talent on their roster. They're not a label for any other musical artist. Reminds me a little bit of what Lou Pearlman did, you know, when he decided to create his own label. The rabbit hole actually goes a little bit even further than this, but I started to feel a little bit like a creep looking at people's personal Facebook pages, even though they're public. I don't know. I just, So throw yourself down the rabbit hole if you want. The moral of this story is I wish the best for these guys. I think they're great, but we really all need to keep our eye on them. Fellas, if you're watching, watch your own backs, you know? No matter how shrewd you think you are, trust me, I have fallen into being taken advantage of, and just in the YouTube industry, a multitude of times because you just can't trust anyone. And that's all for me. Thanks again, Raycon, for sponsoring me today. Feel free to check out my brand at frenchroast.co if you want. Check out No Lonely Hearts if you want. Send them some love. Do not send them any hate. And I'll see you guys in the next one.